What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another EVE Online video. Today we're going to do a video about hacking. This is the hacking mini game for data sites and relic sites, and I'll show you how to find these sites at the end of the video. But I'm in a relic site right now. You can see it has, on my general overview, it's set up to show all the cans in the site. And because there's the white dot at the center, you know there's something in them. If that was not there, then we would know someone had already come here and opened them. So each of these you need to target, and you need to use your Relic Analyzer. You cannot do this without a Relic Analyzer for relic sites, a Data Analyzer for data sites. There are also other types of analyzers that are weaker and make the mini game that we're about to do harder, but they can double as both relic and data analyzers. I don't generally recommend using them. But let's click this and get into the mini game, because this is really the confusing part. So you see here a couple of spaces we can click. Basically, we start at this red circle here, and you can click on anything adjacent to it. And this is almost going to work like reverse Minesweeper. You see we click something, a number appears on it. The number is how many spaces away the next useful thing is. So in this case, we got a 1 here. It could be any of these 3 spaces, but we know that one of these is something useful. So we're going to click here. It's a 2, so we know it can't be that one. That would be 1 away, so it has to be this one. And we find a tool there, a utility subsystem. I'll get into this in a second. So we want to click through. Our goal is to find and destroy the system core, which is one of these. We got another subsystem there. So 5 means it's far away, the next thing we can use. And this can indicate one of 3 things. Either a subsystem, which it's like a power-up for these. It could be a cache, which can either become one of these, a defense subsystem, or it can become a utility subsystem. So in this case, though, these can just spawn randomly. Defense subsystems are the things that will stand in our way. They lock every node around them, so you can't click on them, which means that they do have to be destroyed. In this case, we can probably ignore this one, but I'm going to do it just to show you how the process of destroying them works. The 20 number is how much damage it will do to us. You see we have 70 virus coherence, that's our health. And its own coherence is 80, and we do 25 damage on each of our turns. If you've played Magic: The Gathering, combat works exactly like that, with the notable exception that, you see we click, we do our damage, then it does its damage, which means if we destroy it, we don't take any damage. So I'm going to use my subsystem here, the shield that I got. That will block the next 2 hits that I take. So I can hit it twice with no retribution. The 3rd time I destroy it, so it doesn't hit me. The wrench, you can click and you get repaired for a small amount each turn for 3 turns. This, by the way, these are the caches. We could open them. They would either have a defense subsystem or a utility subsystem, so a power-up or an enemy. We're not going to click them. You should not. They are tools of last resort, because often they will become an enemy and they'll ruin your chances of completing the hack successfully. So we see here another one. 2, 1. There we go. This is the system core. When we destroy it, we win. So I'll use the last utility subsystem I got here, which will half the health of whatever I use it on. That'll bring this to 35, and then 2 attacks will kill it. You can obviously do that a whole lot faster than I just showed, so I'm going to go through it a few times as we complete this site here, just to kind of show you the process of going through it quickly. But those are the basics. If you're sitting here with the minigame, looking at it, very confused as to how any of it works, what these numbers mean, hopefully that's a useful explanation for you, and you can start clicking things with a bit more confidence, as opposed to just being confused until you stumble upon the system core or die. This is probably the nastiest subsystem we can run into. It reduces our attack to 10. Luckily, we got the perfect buff to deal with it, the secondary vector. So we use this, it deals 20 damage to what we apply it to each turn for 3 turns. So I can do that, and there we go. And we got to the system core. I can just destroy that. Now, out in nullsec anyway, which is where I'm doing this, it is more optimal to do relic sites than data sites. Data sites tend not to have that much loot, but relic sites are almost always a decent payday, which makes me happy that this site I found is a relic site. You see, just from 2 cans, I've gotten 8 mil. It can vary. Like, the last can I got was only 1 mil, while the first one was 7 mil. But you can get some really valuable data sites. I've had them worth over 100 mil. This is the other really bad defense subsystem. It will heal another random subsystem every turn. So since there's nothing else out right now that's ideal, I just want to deal with it before it starts healing anything. Its attack is 10, which is pretty weak, so I'm not going to use my utility subsystem on it. I'm just going to hit it. Okay, I got another there. It's not in the way of anything, but I should probably get rid of that too. You see I'm down to 10 health, so I'll have to use utility subsystems and really hope that I get... Sometimes that happens. In this case, this hack is over. I can't win it anymore. For each can in these sites, you get 2 chances to hack it, and then it explodes and you lose whatever loot is in it. So hopefully this goes a bit better. The cans always have like the same level of difficulty on both hacks, so I know that all of those, high density of defense subsystems are on this board as well. So I do have to watch out for those. And that was very lucky. I was expecting to have to deal with that wall of stuff. This guy found the site, but he's a blue, so I'll just wave at him. We don't tend to fight each other for sites in Providence. And when I say we don't tend to, I mean that it's, I believe, a KOS-able offense to steal someone else's site. I've never had a problem with that, though. No one's ever tried to take my site. And depending on the difficulty of the hack, you see some of them, the high defense, low attack subsystem has like 50 health. Sometimes they have 80 health. There are different difficulties to each can. There we go. These are actually very lucky hacks. I'm finding the system core very quickly. There are other types of data and relic sites that are a little more complicated than these. The one that comes to mind are ghost sites, where you have a time limit to complete it before enemies warp in and shoot you. So definitely watch out for that. They can appear in both high sec and low sec. But most sites you find will work like this. I might do a complete video for a ghost site if, just next time I find one. I think this 4 is all the way in the corner here somewhere. There we go. That's that side of the board. 3, 2... And when you see a 1 next to something that is already revealed, the 1 is referring to something that has not been revealed yet. It won't give you directions to something you already have a map to if you're leaving a data cache or something. I'm going to start repairing with that. Three, so that means it's not up here. It must be in this corner somewhere. There we go. And we have one more can to do. So far we've gotten 15 mil from this site, which is pretty low for a data site so far. Or, sorry, for a relic site so far. That said, we've spent maybe 5 minutes doing this, and that was with me slowing down to explain everything I'm doing. So you can see when you find these sites, they are definitely a lucrative source of income. These are the two normal types of subsystems. You see one has high health, low attack. The other has low health, high attack. All in all, I think the high attack but low health ones are easier to deal with. We can half its health and then hit it and not get hit back. Of course, that could happen. That's going to block our way from stuff. So I'm going to go to a different part of the board and just see what I can get done here. So I've got most of the board blocked off here, unfortunately. This is definitely something, and it might be the system core. So I'm going to go through this, take one really big hit. It is not the system core. That is the system core, though. So we can take it. Last can, 2 mil of loot. Definitely one of the lower value relic sites you can get. But, like I say, these sites can easily have 100 mil in them. And they're super fast to run, so there's no reason not to. The other thing I wanted to show in this video is how to find these sites. So, while I was scanning this, there's another cosmic signature in system. The sites spawn in your probe scanner, they'll just be listed as cosmic signature. And you don't know what they are. They could be a data site, they could be a combat site, they could be a relic site, they could be something else, like a wormhole. While I was scanning this, I found this site, and I already know it's a combat site because I was scanning it earlier. Normally it would just be called Cosmic Signature, but I'll show you how to scan it down. So you have to launch your probes, which I did by clicking my Sister's Core probe launcher. You set pinpoint formation, this thing in the lower left. You open your solar system map, and usually this window will appear in the solar system map. I've disconnected too because I don't like that. But we're going to go in here and set the box, which is in the center of all your probes, put it right on top of the icon that indicates the cosmic signature, which we know is a Sancha base. And when it's centered, you hit Analyze. If it's the first time you're scanning it, then there would be a red circle around it, like a red sphere, and you would need to make sure that the probes, the area that the probes are covering encompasses that entire area. I'll see if I can find one for you in another system here. But you do that and you see it scans. This was a level 1 difficulty scan, so we got the site right away. 4AU was a small enough window for them to find the exact location of the site. Often in nullsec, you will need to do more scans with smaller probe sizes to get the exact location. I'm just going to go to the next door system here, see if I can show you an example of that. Okay, there's 2 unknown signatures here. So first I'm going to warp somewhere safe. And while I warp off the gate, I'm going to launch my probes, set pinpoint formation, open the solar system map, and let's just click this NNL 203. We see that's the smaller cosmic signature. which actually means it'll be easier to find. So let's go for the more difficult one, AOF 816. We're going to set our probe size to 8 AU. We're going to center it on the red X at the center. Like so. And we see that the red sphere around it is entirely encompassed by our probes. If it is any smaller than that, the scan won't work or will be only minimally effective. Okay, so we got some scanning on both of them because they're kind of close together. I'm going to leave the NNL203 alone and work more on the AOF. So I'm going to reduce probe size by 1 to 4 AU, recenter it in all 3 dimensions, and hit Analyze. And I'm just going to repeat this until I find the site. Some sites, every site has a scanning difficulty between 1 and 5. 1 through 3, you should have no trouble with it all. You just need a probe launcher, you need some probes, you can find it. Just going to repeat the process here. A scanning difficulty 4, you will need at least 90 scan strength to find. And I will show you where you can find your scan strength in a second. Okay, so you see up here this tab that says 95.7. That's your scan strength. You'll need at least 90 to find a level 4 signature. And the ways you can increase this are either by training up your skills to be a little bit better, by using implants on your clone, by running better modules. So you can do this very cheaply with like a normal probe launcher and normal probes in the probe launcher. However, you'll notice that I'm doing it with a Sister's Core probe launcher, and my probes are also the faction ammunition for this. There we go. We see it's a combat site. Not really interested in that right now, but we'll keep scanning it just so you can see. You can also use a ship that is better at scanning. Obviously, if you're doing this at all, you want to be in a ship that gets bonuses to it. Right now I'm in a T1 Galente frigate, the Imicus, that gets bonuses, but there are ships that get bigger bonuses. The one that comes to mind is the Astero, which is the Sisters of Eve faction frigate. And I believe that gets a slightly larger bonus to this stuff than the T1 frigates that are like the Empire frigates. You also can, like I say, so ship skills, modules, and implants. You can see a modifier for all of them right here that results in whatever your total value is. Here we go, Sancha Prison Camp. I can save location on that because that's actually a fairly lucrative combat site to run. And since I have this already, I might as well scan it. I'll start my scan at 2 AU since I already got the initial scan. There are also level 5 signatures. They're pretty rare. I believe most of them are sleeper sites, which you might not want to run anyway until you know what you're doing and have prepared adequately for them, but I believe they require scan strength of 120 is the number I've heard. I, as you can see, do not have a scan strength of 120, so all I know is that I cannot scan them down. I can scan them enough to see, okay, that's a Sancha base, which is a combat site that is not worth anything. So I'll recall my probes, make sure you remember to do that or you will lose them. Now I'm going to go back and dock up here and drop this loot off at my station of choice. But yeah, all I know is that I cannot get to the level 5 sites. Like I say, I've only seen 1 or 2 of them here and there. They're very rare, even in nullsec, so you probably don't have to worry about them at all. All I can do is scan them enough to see that they are level 5. Anyway, hopefully you found this video informative. Hopefully you learned how to do hacking if it was confusing for you before. And doing this, you saw I got 17 mil in maybe 5 minutes. You can do a lot better than that. This was a very low haul. So with luck, you can get that rare 100 mil site. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Docking with